So does Lyme disease have a cure in 2023? Let's talk about it. Oh, where do I even start with this one? Guys, before anybody's even worried about a cure, there's millions of people that need to get a Lyme disease diagnosis. So this whole video is going to assume that you have a diagnosis already. Now, if you don't have a Lyme disease diagnosis, you're not alone, and it's kind of difficult to get a diagnosis based on current testing that is available. There's about a 50-50 shot that you'll even get that diagnosis to begin with based on the current testing. So let's move past that. Let's talk about that another day, and let's focus on the cure for Lyme disease. In the traditional medical system, the cure for Lyme disease is a short course of antibiotics, normally doxycycline, and they'll give you about 14 days of doxycycline, and you just take that once a day for 14 days, and Lyme disease magically goes away. Now, the way antibiotics work is they basically reduce the bacteria's ability. They attack the bacteria, make it weaker, so that the immune system can come in and kill off that bacteria in a quicker and easier way. Now, that's all well and good, but Lyme disease is not a normal bacteria. It's not a viral infection. It's not some kind of simple bacterial infection that can just be killed like that.
I'm different.
These bacteria are extremely interesting, and the more I learn about Lyme disease, the more I learn that these bacteria are just not like other bacteria. A lot of people call Lyme microbes stealth microbes because of their ability to hide, evade the immune system, and go undetected. They're able to change their DNA before even entering your bloodstream so that they won't be detected by your immune system. And they are also very low in number, and they have low virulence, which is the complete opposite of what you think about when you think about using antibiotics for things like pneumonia. Those are very high virulence, they're very aggressive and dangerous, and they're very high in number. They're just overloading your lungs, right, with pneumonia. So when you take antibiotics for that, it makes perfect sense. These microbes are too aggressive. Let's come in, smash them, break them down a little bit with antibiotics, and then our immune system can help us from there. With Lyme disease, it's kind of the opposite, because the Lyme microbes are not as aggressive. They're not high in numbers, and they're not virulent. They're just kind of chilling, for lack of a better term. They're just kind of like hanging on and stealing some nutrients from your body. Not too much nutrients to raise alarm bells, but not nothing. That's why a lot of people who have Lyme disease don't experience symptoms for years and years and years. For example, I got bit by a tick when I was 4 years old, and I didn't feel any symptoms until I was in my 20s. So 20-year span of time, and then the symptoms come into play because Lyme microbes are able to go undetected and just kind of hang out in your body for very long periods of time. Now, the question of if there is a cure is very difficult because those antibiotics may or may not work for the reasons I just went over. A lot of times you take antibiotics, they'll kill healthy bacteria, they'll get rid of some bacteria, or they'll cause the Lyme microbacteria to create biofilms or to insist into small ball-like forms and await until the immune system kind of calms down, so the antibiotics are cleared out of the system, and then they can roll out back into their normal form and connect back into your cells and tissues in order to steal collagen and other nutrients from your body. All that being said, the cure for Lyme disease is antibiotics. If you read any medical book or look at any study or any medical journal, it says the cure for Lyme disease is antibiotics. However, as millions of Lyme disease patients can attest and are speaking out about and yelling from the rooftops about, antibiotics just don't always work for Lyme disease, especially in cases where it's been dormant in the body for long periods of time, like I just mentioned. See, for me, by the time I got the symptoms, it had already been 20-something years that these microbes were in my body. At that point, there's not as much that you can do, right? A short course of antibiotics just doesn't have the same effect at that point. Some people see relief from antibiotics, but then a few years or a few months later, the symptoms come right back because, like I said, they were encysted in a small ball-like form and then they roll back out to their full form again. So it's very tricky. Is there a cure for Lyme disease? Sort of. Do we know that it goes away? Unfortunately, not really. The testing is getting better. There's been serious advances in Lyme disease testing, especially by the company IGeneX, but we're still about 50% of a chance that we can find out if we have Lyme disease or not. Which means after we treat Lyme disease, there's no actually knowing if it's gone or not. Basically, we're basing it off of our symptoms and how we feel every day. So for me, I haven't had any Lyme symptoms in 5 or 6 years, but I also did not take any antibiotics. They might be saying, what? How did you do that? Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of evidence and reports from individuals themselves who were able to heal from Lyme disease using things like herbs, diet and nutrition, sleep, rest, basically a holistic approach to your entire body, as well as understanding your body from the inside out, using things like blood tests and lab results to find out if there's any other underlying issues like mold toxicity and heavy metals, all types of different areas for improvement in the body. Mold toxicity and heavy metals are some of the more common ones, but there's also things like just general dehydration, sleep disorders. I could list a list as long as my body with different disorders that come in and affect the way the body works and how our immune system is able to handle fighting back and how our body actually builds and repairs after damage from microbes like Lyme microbes. All that being said, there's no cure for Lyme disease where you take a specific thing and there's 100% chance it goes away. Instead, there's one side of things where if it's an acute case of Lyme disease, you just found out you got it, you just got bit by a tick, you take antibiotics, it will help a lot and it will probably help Lyme disease go away, especially if you just got Lyme disease, like you just got bit by a tick today. But for everybody else, which is in my opinion, a large majority of the people, from what I've seen, it's about 80% of the people that have Lyme disease have not been bitten by a tick today. They got bitten by a tick years and years ago, or they don't even know that they got bitten by a tick. For those people, is there a cure for those people? Well, unfortunately, no. In that case, we have to look at your entire health, your entire life picture. And all of the Lyme literate doctors that are out there say the same thing, and that is that it is our immune system dysfunction that is causing the problem with Lyme disease more than it is the microbe itself. Now, immune system dysfunction can come from a series of different things, like I already mentioned: mold, heavy metals, sleep disorders, hydration, eating the right foods, environmental toxins. I could go on and on and on. These are all things that we need to look through, check off the list, make sure that our entire body is healing on a holistic level. That means the whole body pictured as one thing, and we can take it from there. See, it's not just about one specific part of the body or one specific microbe. It's about total body wellness. And it's about taking the long road, meaning it's gonna be a long-term plan. It's not going to be, okay, you do this, you get better. You take this, you get better. That's not how this works, unfortunately. It's more of a long-term plan. For me, it took me 1 year to get better from Lyme disease. I have clients where we're able to shorten that down maybe to 6 months, but for the most part, we need to be in for 1 year focused on our health, focused on holistically healing, focused on reducing our stress levels, focused on hydration, nutrition, focused on getting lab results and test results so we know exactly what's going on inside your body and what you're specifically dealing with. All of this, not to mention that Borrelia burgdorferi is only one microbe in a Lyme disease case. And usually if there is a tick bite, there's loads of different microbes and infections involved, including Rickettsia, Babesia, Bartonella, Anaplasma, chlamydia. You know, the list is very, very long of all of the things that a tick could have in it and that could be infecting your body. So we do need to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of different labs and test results we can do in order to find out what's going on in your specific body. And then we need an action plan that's going to get us better over time, using things like herbs, nutrition, a sleep plan, hydration, fully understanding the body from the inside out and taking action every single day. Now, for me and for many other people that have healed from Lyme disease, this was actually the catalyst that made them a much healthier version in our lives. Because we started by trying to get better from Lyme disease, it took a year, it took 2 years, it took 3 years. Once we got better, then we just continued down that healthy path. It's like if you're trying to lose weight your whole life and you're trying and trying, but you keep going on these fad diets, on and off, on and off, on and off. That is not the best way to do it. Eventually, you need to take a long-term approach. And then once you do something for a year, you're not just gonna go back on it and completely fall apart. You're probably gonna stick with it. Since you already stuck with it for a year, it becomes ingrained as a habit, and you start to understand your body from the inside out. And you start to take action every day because you're used to it and you have that habit in your life. That's what happens to a lot of people that go through the challenge, the suffering, the pain, the very hard road of Lyme disease. And if you're going through that hard road right now, I completely sympathize with you. I empathize with you because I've been there. I was fainting. My heart went down to 30 beats per minute. My body was not working correctly at all. I was sleeping 15 hours a day. I was down and out completely, felt like I was trying to get air, like I was drowning underwater. And every day I would wake up and try to just get above water so I could get some air. And then I would go through the day like that, go to sleep for way too long, wake up the next day, and go through that same process again. And it was like that for a very long time. So if you're dealing with something like that, and it's very difficult, and then there's the whole mental struggle and the mental battles that go with that, and you wonder if you'll ever get better, and you wonder if there's something wrong with you, or if there's something wrong with your brain, and it's a serious, serious battle. And if you're going through that right now, I just want you to know that you're not alone, and that the LymeWars team and myself, we're here for you. And really, like, I wake up at 4 in the morning thinking about you, thinking about the people with Lyme disease that are suffering every day. I also exercise hard every day because I don't want to take my health for granted. I know what it feels like to not have my health. And I know that there's so many people out there suffering like this every single day. So I try to do everything in my power. It drives me forward in order to work harder, and in order to exercise every day, and in order to eat healthy food, because I know that if I take my health for granted, that's just kind of like pushing aside all of the other people that are suffering every single day. And I don't want to do that. And I wish I could explain to you how deeply I care about people with Lyme disease and how much I want to help them. I literally wake up at 4 in the morning every day thinking about Lyme disease, and I go to bed at night thinking about how I can help people more with Lyme disease. I read every single book I could get my hands on, read every single study, became a holistic nutritionist, all because of Lyme disease. So if you're here, hit the subscribe button below, stick around, because I've been posting videos about Lyme disease for 5 years now, and I'm gonna continue to do so as we also launch new products and things that can help people with Lyme disease. We try to keep it super affordable because we want as many people as possible to be able to afford and be able to take action in order to take back their life. See, you can take back your life. You can feel like yourself again. All you have to do is follow the path and stick with us, because we are here and we'll do anything we can in our power to help you get better. So thank you so much for watching this video. The answer to the question, is there a cure for Lyme disease, is unfortunately not quite. But I've been able to heal myself, my friends, my family members. They all call me when someone gets Lyme disease. And I've worked with other clients as well that work with me in order to get better. And it takes a serious long-term approach. It takes a plan. It takes looking at every single area of your health with a microscope, going through it with a fine-tooth comb, and creating a plan specific to your body, your individual body. This is never gonna get better with a one-size-fits-all approach, but there are things that you can do that help most of the generalized population. All that being said, focus on your health. do the things that will help you heal holistically, detoxify, and change your life from the inside out. And eventually, you will get better. It worked for me. It took a year and then some. It took a little bit longer than a year. It was a very, very tough road. I totally understand the pain and the struggle of what it's like. And now I'm here. I put my life's work into this. So hopefully this video helps you out and finds you healing, moving along the path, going through your healing journey, no matter how hard that is. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.